Well, time for a TV47 Weekend Edition. It's my hope that you've had a beautiful Saturday and ready to be updated. My name is Linda Alela. I'll be doing this with a sign language interpreter on the other end, none other than Rhoda Nyamai. We have lots lined up for you, including that incredible interview where we get to engage individuals that have taken it upon themselves to tour the country, and they intend to take it to the world, as they say it's important that they address the concern of female genital mutilation, that is FGM, as well as early childhood marriages. And of course, we'll be getting into that conversation just to get to understand what inspires them beyond these concerns that we have as a nation. That will be coming your way in the course of the broadcast. But now we have lots as to news, and here are the highlights. Tonight, 2 female bodies retrieved from the Madhara River, with police saying some of the parts could be those of Frida Munani, who was brutally murdered last week.
Now that we are working together with the Honorable Mother Karua, it even makes us stronger as we engage the rest of Kenya.
And former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and NARC Kenya Party leader Martha Karua pledged to work together with the goal of removing President William Ruto from power.
Let's caucus together and let us work for this country.
As President Uhuru Kenyatta's Jubilee Party endorses former Interior CS Dr. Fred Matiang'i as the party's 2027 presidential flag bearer.
So we as the Jubilee Party, we have our own candidate also called Matiang'i.
Also tonight, families of those who perished and those who went missing during the height of Gen Z protests last year still cry for justice 7 months later.
Hiyo justice ipatikane kwa watoto wetu. Tunaomba nyinyi wakaa watoto wetu, tutawachukua tu kama watoto wetu au wengine wenyu. Muendelee kutupigania haki yetu na haki yenu pia.
The TV47 Weekend Edition begins right away. By extensions, say we'll be getting to that conversation once again as to the dealing of female genital mutilation and early marriages in the country. But we start off with this political story where NARC Kenya Party leader, that is Martha Karua, and former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua have agreed to have a unity of purpose, one aimed at unseating President William Ruto in the 2027 general elections. Among other things, they do plan to capitalize on the Gen Z wave by urging the youngsters to register en masse as voters. And as Paul Kirobi now details, the move is already causing ripples in the mountain.
Saturday morning, NARC Kenya Party leader Martha Karua was at hand to receive special guests at her Guchugu home. Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, his wife Pastor Dorcas, accompanied by a host of leaders, came here bearing special gifts for a special occasion. The gifts, which included sheep and having a deep culture significance of seeking truths where mistakes were committed. And after the deliberations, it was clear that Karua and Gachagua were going to come together in unity of purpose to call out President William Ruto's leadership.
That we are not scared and we cannot be intimidated. Because if we buy fear, this country will be in a very big quagmire. So I want to encourage the leaders who have accompanied me here. My elder sister, we shall benefit a lot from her counsel. We'll consult her regularly alongside other Kenyans of goodwill.
The duo also agreed to unite in closing the political divide facing the mountain and seek new alliances ahead of the 2027 general election.
Let us consult widely, even with the others. Feel free anytime to reach out. Let us caucus together and let us work for this country.
Part of their strategy includes rallying Kenyans to register as voters and mass seemingly to take advantage of the Gen Z wave, which has seen the young Kenyans largely against President Ruto's administration, both off and online.
The actual transformation of this great republic will be on the ballot. The public awareness on smartphone is good, A1. But the real transformation, the final transformation of getting a good country with good leaders will be on the ballot.
While addressing members of the press, Gachagua dismissed Ruto's political theatrics of branding him a tribal leader, maintaining that if the mountain was tribal, then President Ruto couldn't have gotten votes from the area in the previous 2022 general election.
We also proved that we are people of honor and we keep promises. That to me is the importance of the vote of 2022. And I can assure you today, other Kenyans wants to work with us. Nobody can isolate us. Everybody wants to work with us because we are honest people.
The coming together of the former foes turned friends comes days before the former deputy president is set to announce his political direction, with Martha Karua also set to launch her new People's Liberations Party. The new alliance is already causing ripples within the political architecture within the Mount Kenya region, with Tharaka Nithi Governor Muthomi Njuki telling off any politicians in Mount Kenya harboring plans of coming up with a new political vehicles for the region, insisting it is premature debate. Speaking in Meru, where he was the chief guest at a cultural event that brought together Meru and Tharaka Nithi counties under the theme of 2 counties, 1 people, Governor Njuki said it would be shameful that other parts of the country are thinking about developing their regions, while reports from the larger Mount Kenya region focus on political squabbles and how to solve them.
For now, let us try and focus on delivering for the people as leaders. Let us demand from our government what they promised us during elections. Wakati wa kuunda chama na kufanya siasa itafika.
Paul Kirobi, TV47, Nairobi.
President William Ruto has secured Guinea-Bissau's support for Kenya's candidacy for the African Union Commission AUC. Ruto hosting Guinea-Bissau's President Umaru Sissoco Embalo for a state visit that commenced on Saturday, affirmed that the West African leader has committed to campaigning for the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. The endorsement adds to the growing list of African leaders rallying behind Kenya. And Kenya's candidate, Raila Odinga, is set to face Djibouti's Foreign Affairs Minister Mohamed Ali Yusuf and Madagascar's former Foreign Minister Richard Randriamandrato. The crucial election is scheduled for February, and of course we'll see African heads of state under the African Union vote for a new AUC chair to replace outgoing chairman, that is Musa Faki, and whose term is coming to an end. The former Prime Minister has been intensifying his shuttle diplomacy efforts, engaging African heads of state to garner support for his bid. Odinga has already secured endorsement from several leaders, while President Ruto has deployed state resources to support the veteran opposition leader in his quest for the AU chairman or chairperson seat.
The situation in Somalia and the steps that are being taken so that we can transition from ATMIS to the new arrangement that is under the African Union. These are some of the discussions that has informed my conversation with my brother here, because we believe that to be able to unlock the potential that exists in our continent for industrialization, for job creation, for unlocking the potential of the resources that exist in our continent, peace and security must be front and center, because there can never be any investment of trade in an environment of conflict and insecurity. Allow me, Your Excellency, to conclude.
Students who would like to resit their KCSE examination can now start applying starting Monday next week. In a circular, the Kenya National Examinations Council announced that the registration process would begin the 27th of January and end on the 21st of February this year. The newly launched KCSE Media Series will allow a chance to those who wish to get their certification before the end of the 844 system, as Andrin Kilemi details.
All is not lost for candidates who scored poorly in previous KCSE exams. The Kenya National Examination Council has issued guidelines and timelines for the newly launched KCSE Media Series that is meant to give a chance to repeaters, adult learners and those who missed previous exams. In a circular, NEC CEO David Njengere said that the portal will be open for registration starting next week Monday, all through to February the 21st. He further noted a mandatory registration fee of 7,200 shillings payable via the NEC registration platform on the e-Citizen platform.
The examination will target candidates wishing to repeat the KCSE examination and those who may have missed sitting in examinations due to sickness or other unexpected hardships.
Candidates receiving the KCSE exam will be required to present original and copies of their identification card, birth certificate or passport. They will also be required to present their KCPE certificates, KCSE examination slips for repeaters, and a soft copy of the candidate's passport photograph. Candidates sitting the July series exams will be graded and certified in adherence to the existing regulations for the KCSE examination. KCSE examination certificates will be issued to candidates who repeat 7 subjects or more, while candidates repeating less than 7 subjects will be issued with a slip for the subjects they will have repeated as per the existing regulations for the KCSE examination. Andrin Kilemi, TV47.
And now, retired President Uhuru Kenyatta's Jubilee party has endorsed former Interior Cabinet Secretary, that is Dr. Fred Matiang'i, as the party's presidential flag bearer in the 2027 presidential poll. The party's decision during a leadership meeting in Narok came after weeks of speculation on whether Uhuru was behind Matiang'i's presidential bid, that is in 2027, to face off with President William Ruto at the ballot. Apollo Kamau with that.
The decision by President Uhuru Kenyatta's Jubilee Party to endorse former Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i for the 2027 poll has put to rest months of speculation on whether Kenyatta is behind his former Cabinet Secretary presidential ambitions.
We as the Jubilee Party, we have our own candidate also called Matiang'i. Waende wakae na wale aende wakae na wale wengine. Tuhakikishe Kasongo ameenda nyumbani asubuhi na mapema. But for that to happen, lazima mwanze kufanya registration, musukume maneno kwa watu na hatutaki vita.
The endorsement is a major boost for Matiang'i, who has kept a low profile since his exit from office in 2022 until recently, when he recruited a Canadian global firm to lobby for his prospects as the country's 6th president.
Tutafute huyo mtu akuje waungane na wale wengine na sisi wote tukubali kikapu moja. Ruto hata akiweka Kimani Ichung'wa kama chairman wa ABC ataweza? Hata akiweka Kamuketi pale kuna kitu ataweza? Lazima tukubaliane kama Wakenya kwamba William Ruto na watu wake wote are the really wrong people for this country.
Matiang'i has this past week hosted leaders at his current home, among them 9 MPs from the Gusii region, to seek the support of the Gusii community before reaching out to other regions. Matiang'i also made a low-key visit to Kitui in December last year, where he caused excitement.
Tumeamua candidate yetu ya urais hapa nchini Kenya 2027 elections anaitwa Dr. Fred Matiang'i Okengo.
Despite Matiang'i being tasked by the Jubilee Party to reach out to other opposition leaders, his entry has complicated matters for Kalonzo, who was initially preferred by Kenyatta but dropped. Kalonzo has lately joined forces with former DP Rigathi Gachagua, who buried the hatchet with NARC Kenya party leader with the aim of forming an alliance to face off Ruto in 2027. Apul Kamau, TV47.
There are fears over possible resurgence of criminal gangs in many parts of the country. The latest cases have been reported in Nairobi, Baringo and Kisumu counties. And now the Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen has issued a stern warning to those taking part in criminal activities. They will soon face the law. Elizabeth Atieno with the details.
Penina Kibe Mbutia is a widow in pain and sorrow. She has just lost her 42-year-old husband, Mbutia Mwangi, in a tragic manner. Mbutia was stabbed to death by individuals said to be from a criminal gang on Saturday, the 18th of January in Njiru, Nairobi County.
Condition yake haikuwa mzuri juu hata venye nilimuita hakuitika. Alistretch tu mkono hivi akanishika.
According to Penina, the deceased was attacked while on his way home from a meeting in Ruiru. Penina realized something was amiss when she could not reach her husband on phone. Her search would later yield fruits the following day on Sunday at 7:30 a.m. when she found her husband lying helplessly along the road.
Nilipompata hapo kama amelazwa hapo chini, hakuwa na simu, lakini alikuwa amejaa damu uso yake yote, ungemjua juu uso ilikuwa imefura, kichwa ilikuwa na damu na nguo. Simu hana, but tulikuwa tunaipiga inachukuliwa, lakini hakuna mtu alikuwa anaongea.
Mbutia died on Tuesday, the 20th of January, while receiving treatment at a hospital in Nairobi.
Tukiambiwa tu tungonje ndio amke ndio apelekwe kwa theater. Unfortunately hakuamka, tukaambiwa ameaga.
Still in Nairobi, over 50 residents of Njataine in Kasarani are fearing for their lives after they were attacked last night by an unknown group of goons armed with pangas and crude weapons.
Kuna watu wamejitokeza kukuja kutunyang'anya mali. Wanataka kutupora.
The residents have further accused area police officers of tampering with their safety.
OCPT alikuwa amedeploy askari huku na kaondoa.
The criminal gangs are not only terrorizing residents here in Nairobi, but also in the North Rift, where 4 people have been shot dead in less than a week in Kerio Valley. The latest incident being on Thursday, where 3 were shot dead. 1 person is receiving treatment after being shot by the gun-wielding bandits on Monday last week in Loruk, Baringo North. The bandits vanished with more than 20 livestock. From the North Rift to Nyanza, the criminal gangs seem to be taking the entire country by storm. At the Koyango market in Kisumu County, businessmen and women here are living in fear and anxiety following the emergence of a criminal group that has robbed them of their livelihoods. The gang recently broke into 5 shops in the area. The affected businesses are now counting losses amounting to 200,000 Kenya shillings in just 2 days.
Hapa mahali tunaishi hakuna security. Hata kama umeweka fence.
Tukiangalia vile tunafanya kazi kwa uoga. Kwanza tunashinda tukiibiwa, hatuna wakati wa kufanya kazi kwa amani.
And now a thick cloud of fear hangs in the country that these incidents could mean that there is a resurgence of organized criminal gangs across the country. Fears confirmed by Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen, who has issued a stern warning to those perpetrating the criminal activities that they either disband or face the full force of the law.
I have issued instructions to the Inspector General of Police to work tirelessly to make sure they crack down and dismantle these criminal gangs with immediate effect. Public servants, including Ngao and police officers who will be found abetting these crimes, will be sacked and charged. On the other hand, politicians or financing or benefiting from the activities of these gangs are equally culpable.
Additionally, the Ministry of Interior has unveiled the National Government Police Unit, NGAPU, which will provide National Government Administration officers with security capacity to execute delivery of government services, improve public safety, and strengthen multi-agency collaboration.
Continue to pray for them.
Elizabeth Atieno, TV47, Nairobi.
Still on criminal concerns in the country, more human body parts have today been discovered dumped in Mathare River in Nairobi's Kariobangi area. as the number of cases of femicide continues to rise in the country. And according to police officers, some of the body parts that were discovered belonged to Frida Munani, who was killed, and her body dismembered by her lover. And another unknown female's body also was retrieved and taken to the city mortuary.
Lower body parts of a dismembered female body stashed in a sack was earlier today discovered in Mathare River in Nairobi's Kariobangi estate. Preliminary investigations conducted by officers from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations revealed that the body parts may belong to 19-year-old Joy Frida Munani, who was allegedly murdered by her husband in Nairobi's Huruma slum. The 29-year-old Kiama Wambua, accused of killing his wife Frida Munani, was arrested on Tuesday morning carrying a suspicious bag in which police found body parts of a human being. Wambua has since been detained for 21 days after the court granted the investigative team more time to conclude the investigations before he's allowed to take a plea. The body parts believed to be that of Frida Munani and one unknown were moved to Nairobi City mortuary, awaiting post-mortem for further investigations. This incident further deepens the wounds left in the hearts of members of the public concerned about the surging cases of femicide across the country. This as the country has recorded over 15 cases of femicide since the beginning of the year. Samira Mohammed for TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Samira, for that. The recent remarks by Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki, seemingly directed at Giharu Member of Parliament Ndindi Nyoro, have sparked a political heat, especially from Murang'a lawmakers. Kindiki said that the role of the Budget Committee chairperson in the National Assembly can be equated to a chief, something MPs allied to Nyoro are not taking lightly. And as our senior political reporter Elizabeth Mutuku reports, in the recent days, DP Kindiki has heightened activities in his current official residence in his quest to control the mountain, as well as stamping authority in the Kenyan political scene.
Kusukuma hiyo maneno ni kiongozi wa wengi. Rais akishamaliza na maneno yake, mzigo inawekelewa huyo mtu. Wachana hata na chairman wa budget. Huyo chairman ni mtu mdogo, ni kama assistant chief na county commissioner. Sasa county commissioner ni Kimani Ichung'wah, kuja usalamia hao watu.
These are the remarks by Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki, remarks that have now left many tongues wagging within the political class. His remarks seemingly as a way of stamping authority in his possession as the Deputy President and ready to tackle any person who is standing on the way on his quest to control the mountain.
Mimi nimetumwa kazi. Si namna hiyo.
Kindiki made the remarks in his official residence in Karen while welcoming Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah during a meeting with leaders from Taita Taveta County. And even before the dust settled, a section of MPs accused the second-term Kiharu lawmaker of unfair distribution of the National Government Constituency Development Fund owing to his position as the chairperson of the Budget Committee in the National Assembly.
The biggest corruption in our country lies squarely in Parliament. The reason why I say that is there has been an abdication of budget process by the executive. There are few leaders within Parliament who lead some specific committees. They appropriate themselves so much billions of shillings and they seem to be untouchable, which is extremely illegal.
Nyoro has been under constant criticism by some of Ruto's allies following his absence and silence during the impeachment of former DP Rigathi Gachagua.
Ni wenzetu, marafiki zangu, nyinyi mnajua hata wengineo. Nimejaribu kuzungumza nao. Nawaambia, huwezi kukaa kwa meza moja na mtu ambaye anasema Kenya hii kuna wale wanafaa na kuna wale wafai.
Kindiki has been hosting delegations from elected leaders and more so from the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua backyard, the meetings focusing on development projects in the region as well as political realignments. Among the meetings on Thursday this week was one with a section of members of parliament from Murang'a County. Notably was Kangema Member of Parliament Peter Kihungi, an ally of Gachagua.
My function is to assist and support the president.
Today, a section of leaders and residents of Murang'a County have come out gun-blazing in defense of Nyoro, emphasizing on the importance of DP to be a unifying factor and respecting other leaders.
Na kama Dede Nyoro kuna makosa amefanya, wacha tumuongereshe kwa heshima. Hii ndio wakati tunatakiwa kupoesha na kumwagiria maji temperature zote ambazo zimeinuka na tena sana upande wa Mount Kenya region.
Na tungeomba pia naibu wa rais na wale viongozi wengine wote waheshimu MP wetu. Na MP wetu ndio ule kiongozi ambaye ako na matumaini zaidi.
Pundits opine that divide and rule might be one of DP Kindiki's tactics towards conquering the mountain. Elizabeth Motuko, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Liz. Now, Kenyans have been urged to use social media in a responsible and productive manner as it has come in handy to create opportunities in the media industry. Speaking during the rebranding of Africa Film TV Talent Training Institute, the speakers encouraged the youth to build their portfolio before leaving their institutions of learning. And a call has been made to the mainstream media to change tact and invest more on digital and online platforms that are more marketable to fit the industry and as well cap the challenge, giving an example of Facebook, which is used by 23 million users daily, and its digital content consumed more than many digital outlets, thereby creating opportunities for Kenya or for Kenyan youth.
Many people are saying AI will take over jobs and all that, but at AFT we believe that creativity is the most important aspect, because AI depends on our prompts. So what are you putting into AI in terms of the prompts that you're giving it to be able to give you content that is impactful? It is just supposed to enhance your content and also just give you options in terms of fastening the processes.
A report by Deloitte that was released last year showed that 75% of creatives are actually using AI. And what is very important for our creatives to understand is that AI is not going to replace them. It's the people who do not use, or the people who do not use AI will be replaced by the ones who use AI. And it has been proven to actually improve efficiency by 40%.
AI can't take our jobs in a film production area, because I believe AI can never create that feeling that human beings have, that creativity, that AI can't create something out of nothing. You have to feed something to it.
The day you step in this school gives you an opportunity to build a portfolio for yourself, to sell yourself, to start honing your skills before you even leave. So that by the time you tell people, I have a certificate, I have a diploma in this, they ask you, then what can you do? You have something to show them.
And 29 minutes past the top of the hour, allow us to pay some bills and then we come back with more news. Welcome back to TV47 Weekend Edition, and by extension, say to more news. Laikipia East Member of Parliament Mwangi Kiunjuri has warned President William Ruto allies campaigning for the isolation of the mountain and, of course, on the wake of the region's dissent against President William Ruto. Kiunjuri, who spoke in Liki village in a constituency his constituency, told his fellow allies in government to respect the Mount Kenya region, saying the region deserves respect and equal treatment. During a church service in Mount Elgon last Sunday, Western Kenyan members of parliament, led by Webuye Member of Parliament Dan Wanyama, told President Ruto that he can be re-elected without the input of the populous Mountain Kenya region.
Na serikali ya William Samoei Ruto mimi naiunga mkono, na wale wengine wananisikiza tutaiunga mkono, na wale wengine wako ndani ya Kenya wasifikirie kwa sababu Mount Kenya watu hawajafurahi ati watu Mount Kenya region wako na shida na president ama na serikali ati wataingilia katikati. Iwe tena tumerudia ile siasa ya 41 against 1. Ati tunataka kugawa nchi ya Kenya tuweke Mkikuyu kando na Mumeru. Nataka kusema sisi wote tuko ndani ya serikali. Wale viongozi ambao wameanza kueneza ukabila kwa sababu ati kuna shida Mount Kenya region lazima wakome. Tunataka kuelezea viongozi wengine watuheshimu, na hii heshima lazima itapatikana. Kama uko Western Kenya, kama uko Mombasa, kama uko Nyanza, isiwe ati ukiamuka sasa kwa sababu kuna shida Mount Kenya region unaweka Wakikuyu wote kwa debe moja, unaweka watu ya mlima kwa debe moja. Hiyo lazima tuwaelezee kinaganaga. Sisi hatutakubali kutengwa, kwa sababu kama kuna Mkikuyu amekosea wengine, pigana na huyo Mkikuyu peke yake. Kama kuna Wakikuyu 10, Wakikuyu ni milioni mingi, sio 1,000, sio 2,000, na kwa hivyo tuheshimike.
Sports news brought to you by Maybets. Bet bila stake. Predict the outcome of 8 pre-selected games and win up to 100,000 shillings. Only at maybets.com.
All right, and Kenya progressed to the
ready to elevate your business game.
As long as you're earning something, there's always that opportunity to save. And you start with where you are.
Kama wewe ni mfanyabiashara, huwezi kaa bure, unajipanga taratibu vile inavyofaa.
Join us each week as we dive into the stories of the world's most driven entrepreneurs.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
The Grind, where business meets brilliance. Tune in every Monday at 7:30 p.m. because your business deserves the best.
I want now to confirm for you that I just signed the contract to assure that you'll get your bonuses for the remaining 5 legs. Up to 6th position, up to 9 million shillings will be up for grabs. So we just want to encourage you so that when you perform well, we boost you as SportPesa. And again, I just want to call on all Kenyans all over the world. This is our team. We're so proud of you. Our flag is flying high because of you. And we will root for you and support you. These are teams you've beaten before. In fact, all those teams in the 7s, we know you can beat them. So please go out there. We are all watching. We are all supporting you. And do your best.
Congratulations to Team Kenya. Now, FKF Kenya Premier League leaders Tusker secured a 1-0 win over Ulinzi Stars on Saturday afternoon at Dandora Stadium here in Nairobi. The solitary goal was scored by Crispin Erambo in the 55th minute. Elsewhere, AFC Leopards and Muranga Seals settled for a 1-1 draw, while Posta Rangers saw off Talanta FC 2-1. As it stands, Tusker remains at the top of the standings so far, with 36 points after 18 matches, ahead of Police FC, that is KCB and Gor Mahia.
Lakini hapa ulikuwa unaenda wapi Lewis jamani? Lakini hatolaumiwa. Jo, nimekuita mara ngapi? Ajua Muranga se Aguero tena jaribu kuichanja ndani huko. Julius Mosavo ilikuwa ni swala la muda tu, kama alivyosema wenyewe. Ingwe la asali ya maziwa.
Nairobi United Football Club moved to the top of the National Super League after they defeated Malay Children Family FC, that is 1-0 at the Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos Saturday afternoon. United have 34 points so far from 17 outings in front of APS Bomet, who have 32 points from 16 games. Meanwhile, on Friday evening, former Nairobi City Stars tactician Nicholas Muyoti was officially unveiled as the new head coach of Nairobi United. Nairobi County Governor also cleared the team's outstanding winning allowances amounting to 1.2 million shillings, and in addition to unveiling their new playing kit. The club is seeking promotion to the FKF Premier League next season, and they have acquired new players.
Nairobians, this is our team, Nairobi United. This is our team. Let us rally behind them. Their games locally and away. Let us be proud of our team. It's doing well. It's the top of the country, and so it's something to be proud of. And we want to see fans coming out the same way they did during the Sakaja Super Cup, where we used to fill Dandora to the brim. You know, it was breaking at the seams. That's what we need to see, and it's coming back because this is grassroots football that we are focusing on.
Governor amefanya pati yake. Sasa sisi kama wachezaji pia tunafanya tu, ni kazi yetu tunafaa kufanya. Sisi ni wachezaji. So sidhani kama ni pressure. So hata kama ni positive, unajua kuna negative pressure na positive pressure. So hii ni positive pressure. So tushajua yuko ashawakilisha upande wake, so ni sisi sasa.
And Mathare United Football Club chairperson, the late Bob Munro's final send-off was held today at Mathare Youth Sports Association in Nairobi County. The procession started at Lee Funeral Home before traversing several centers in the capital and culminating at MISA headquarters. Robert Donald Munro's burial is expected to take place Tuesday.
Mafanikio mengi sana kwa watu wengi. Kwa hivyo ni sherehe, tuko na sherehe yake kubwa, sherehe kabisa ya siku ya mwisho yake tumzindikishe vizuri, na hii ndio boma kawaida. Nafikiri itabaki kikumbukwa sana, manake hapa ndio Mathare United imezaliwa, hapa ndio Kimanzi amezaliwa kimpira.
Kila mtu especially in Nairobi amepitia MISA, na ukiangalia all the leaders from the coaches wa national team, from the leaders wa administrative, wote wamepitia MISA. Na ukiangalia ile vision Bob alikuwa ame-create job opportunities na leadership kwa watu wengi sana.
Munro tunamshukuru, ametalent watu wadogo. Pia mimi naweza sema nimejoin hapa 2019 but sikumjua vile sana, sijagrow na yeye, but kuanzia hapo 2019 to 2025 naweza sema tu tumebond kidogo na yeye.
Hajakuja kumuona, tumekuja kumcelebrate, ndio amefanya vitu kubwa sana kwa maisha yetu.
Sports News brought to you by Maybets. Bet bila stake. Predict the outcome of 8 pre-selected games and win up to 100,000 shillings. Only at maybets.com.
All right, time for her say, and we get straight to it. All right, and Josephine Pasiani is our guest tonight. So while I made that introduction, I was expecting that Josephine is going to tag along Bishop, and she'll be telling us who Bishop is, as I mentioned this, but it's an honor to have you, Josephine. Walikuambia kipindi ni ya kina mama peke yake.
Aliniambia kipindi ni ya mama.
Wapi Bishop bana? Ako salama, eh?
Ako salama, yes.
Good to see you. Karibu sana, sana.
Thank you.
Asante sana for the great job that you're doing, as well as, you know, that commitment towards making sure that the society is a better place for the women. Kitu cha kwanza ambacho tutaanza kuzungumzia ni swali as simple as kwa nini? Why this focus on making a long journey, 170 kilometers kwa miguu for purposes of just addressing the concern of FGM and, you know, early marriages? Why kutembea and nothing else?
Kutembea tuliona it will help to sensitize the community.
Right.
So as we walk, watu wanasema hawa wanatembea nini, mnatembea kwa nini? So tunawaelezea sababu yenye tunatembea, na pia we worked to raise funds for the girls who are running from FGM and early marriages.
This was the first time that you were making that grand walk, or you have done
this is the second time.
This is the second time.
We did it 2022. Yeah.
All right, and you thought that it yielded lots of fruit, and therefore it was necessary to do it again?
Yes.
Perhaps you need to tell my audience,
Yeah.
so that we begin from a point of them getting to understand what exactly then Josephine as well as Bishop have been doing towards addressing the concerns of FGM and early marriages.
Yeah. So we started. Our program started in 1997.
Right.
So it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we support girls, teenage girls.
Right.
Actually from 9 years to up to 20 something. When they get a job, that is when they leave the safe house.
Okay.
But we decided to do this because we know girls are going through a lot of problems. Especially in Narok, we have a lot of problems concerning FGM, early marriages, and so on. So many other things because of the girls. So our program mainly deals with girls.
Okay.
So we said that we need to sensitize the community. And one way of doing it is walking. We sacrificed.
You walked from where to where?
We walked from Narok to Nairobi.
Okay.
Through Ngong, yeah.
Right. How was it? How was the journey like? How was
the journey was tough, very tiresome.
Did you raise any funds as expected?
Yes, we raised some funds.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's great. And one would want to understand, you say that your organization has been in existence from 1997, pretty much addressing the same concerns, and we appreciate that it's a safe house for very many girls. But just what is the status of these concerns that you speak to, FGM, early marriages in the country? Because then one would want to say that perhaps you begin at this point with the hope that at some point in time we say that, you know, we are done with FGM, it's the end of the game. But then years on, the cases continue to be rampant.
Yeah, it has gone down. We appreciate because of the stakeholders who are working towards finishing the FGM and earlier marriages, but it's still there. And then the problem we have now is people have a new way of doing it without people doing.
Yes.
Like they do FGM for girls at night.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And like the other years, they were doing it openly. It was a ceremony.
Okay.
It was something, they do it openly. So when the government said it is illegal, they started having new ways of doing FGM.
Okay.
So it's still there, but it has gone down. Yeah.
All right. If you're going to look at the communities that you know are conducting FGM in the country, which ones are quite you know so much engraved into it?
The Somalis, the Maasais, I think the Kisis, the Kalenjins. So we have quite a number of tribes that are still doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you suppose the girls are well aware of the dangers that come along with this? Because if you say that now they have derived other ways and forms of doing it, you know, so that they're not caught up with law and all that. And there are also cases where you find that there's some little girls who would just decide to hide themselves and perhaps proceed, you know, to go for the cut or even proceed to go and get married, even as you struggle to perhaps enlighten them of the dangers of this. What exactly informs this, and what would we need to do to ensure then that it becomes a game of the past?
The girls are aware that the government doesn't want that.
Yet there are some of them who would hide.
But they more listen to their parents because the father will tell them, or will tell the girl, if you run away, I'll curse you. So the girl will be having a fear of being cursed. So most of the time, they know there are dangers, but they prefer going for it because of the curse or something, or the stigma in the community. Like they are being told you cannot get married until you undergo FGM. So they fear that, the future. They fear the future, yeah.
Just how much is this effort for awareness, you know, paying, as well as just how crucial would the education element be in terms of enlightening the girls and the community at large, so that they know that, well, aside from the traditions and the cultures, really, there's not much of a caste that is pegged to this?
They know very little. Because in schools, they don't tell them that it's not true that when you are cast, you're going to die or something. So it's like the parent who has the power over it, because the schools, the government is very little awareness, especially in the interior. Many girls don't know that. So most of our girls, like half of it, we have those who have run from FGM, and half after already they have gone through FGM. So they were running because they don't want to get married to an old person. So some of them know that FGM is bad, or they know FGM is better than getting married very early.
Very early.
So
they'd rather go for that.
Yeah.
Well, interesting. There's a lot of commitment to this, a lot of funding.
A lot, yeah.
And like you say, the government has literally banned these.
Yeah.
What then are the missing gaps? And why is it then that there'll be so much money, funding pegged to that, as well as, you know, the government committed to saying that we should end and shun FGM, yet this knowledge does not get to the right ears?
The problem, I think, is there because people are discussing the issues in big hotels like in Nairobi, but no one goes to the grassroots. Our organization is down there, but we don't have funding. Like when we have rescued girls, we never, or we rarely get any support from the government. So sometimes you get overwhelmed because you don't have school fees, you don't have food, and then you end up sending them back to the community. Why? Because the government is not ready to support you. When they get the money for anti-FGM, they just go to big hotels, discuss about the whatever they want to implement, but it never goes down to grassroots. So the problem is up here, up there in the government, but they never come to the grassroots.
And you know, I think your last your last stop on this 170 kilometers journey was at the anti-FGM board.
Yeah.
Just how much? First of all, what was your target as you were headed there? And how much did you get? Not in terms of money, or not in terms of monetary value, but in terms of, you know, that commitment of government or perhaps these important bodies in terms of addressing the same.
I think what we have achieved is we took our petition to the Speaker's Parliament. We took another one to the anti-FGM board, but we don't know whether it will go anywhere or not. So that's the biggest we have achieved. The other time we have been not able to take anything because it's like they were not there. So the problem is when you petition anything, nobody looks at it. So they just ignore.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is this that motivates you? Because you almost, sound like you are fighting a losing battle. I know there's the satisfaction of seeing the girls, getting safety and growing to being, women of substance. But just what is this that motivates you and Bishop to keep going despite all these roadblocks?
What motivates us is when we rescue a girl, we take her through education, graduates, get a job, help the community. That is what drives us. Yeah, because we have so many, over 1,500 girls have gone through our organization, and they have succeeded, and they are our ambassadors. They are out. They are helping their sisters. They are helping their cousins. Yeah.
Just how are they allowed? Just how much latitude do they have to penetrate, these areas, the villages, and even speak to the oldies and tell them that perhaps these practices have been overtaken by time?
When they graduate, when they go for a graduation ceremony, they will say that this girl ran away and she came with something, so they impress her. But telling them so openly that you should stop this is not as easy as possible. So what they do, when you have a sister, a young sister, you take her to somewhere like a boarding school, take her to a rescue center, and make sure that she doesn't undergo the FGM. That's the only way out. Or you tell them she got a sponsor and she can't be coming home during December holidays, because the only time they have to do FGM is December holidays, because it's longer than the other time. So they use tricky ways to save them. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm curious to understand, what are some of the proposals you have presented when you say that you have presented a petition, or perhaps you have presented, a document that you would wish then becomes a bill and assented to law. What are some of the proposals that you have incorporated? And if you are to be sitting with other stakeholders, what would you identify, or what would you tell them are the gaps now that you have a clear picture of what it is like, sitting in these hotels as well as going down on ground?
We were proposing to have a safer society for everyone.
Okay.
A society where everybody has a right, or they are equal, they're given their own rights. So we just wanted everyone to be heard, to be given their rights.
And there are very many proposals in relation to that. I mean, as we speak today, the government has committed so much, including women members of parliament. They have committed so much towards addressing all these concerns of gender. FGM incorporated therein, early marriages incorporated therein. Why do you suppose then this will be a different call compared to all this that have been spoken about?
If everyone decide to do something, if I decide to change, I will change. But when you just say, I want to change, and you don't change, change will never come. So unless everybody or everyone in the society decided to change, like the politicians, okay, they say things on TVs, on barazas, but they are never serious. They don't mean it. So most of the time, okay, they go discuss it, but it's not true. Yeah.
Good policies are drivers of change. Good policies are drivers of development. What do you suppose are the policy gaps that we get to experience today as to FGM, as to gender concerns, as to early marriages, and just how different do you suppose we should approach this?
The policies are there and they are very good, but implementation is not there.
Right.
Or when they are implementing, there's something that comes in between. Like we have so much corruption on things like when a man is caught, or those women who cut the girls, they have a way of maneuvering and paying. Yeah. So they pay something and they get out. So the policies are good, but implementation is not. Yeah.
Till when are we expecting to see this change that you are driving for as an organization, that you wake up and, you know, as a couple decide that this morning we are going to set off for 170 kilometers journey because we are committed and we are certain that this is going to bring change? What is this that then we should bank on, we should count on as a society, as a country?
We should be, all of us, be responsible.
Okay.
Yeah, we should take care of everyone. We should listen to one another. And we are hoping that one day FGM will end, early marriages will end. But it will not be something like 2 years or 5 years or 10 years to come.
Now?
It will take a lot of time.
For real?
Yeah. Unless we take everybody through education, change their mindset, that is when they'll get, I think, somewhere to change. Because most of the time we still have people who drop out of school.
Right.
And when they go out there, they are very ready to embrace their culture.
Okay.
So we have the good side of the culture and we have bad side. So it depends. When everyone goes through education, go to the highest, they will change. But as long as we still have people who are not going to school, it's very hard.
It's very difficult. Well,
yeah.
so unfortunate. Josephine Pasiani, where do you come from?
I'm from Narok County.
From Narok.
Yeah.
So you're talking about things you have seen firsthand? The situation was different for you, or?
I'm a Maasai.
You're a Maasai.
Yes. But married to a Kikuyu.
yes. Of course, Bishop Patrick Ngigi.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely the name betrays him.
Yeah.
Have you encountered something of this nature?
Of course, I've encountered.
All right.
Yeah.
What would
I know everything. I know even what is happening now.
So what got you off the hook, if you would say?
It's not something that is interesting.
Right.
It's bad.
It is bad.
Yeah.
But of course, we will get to visit you and visit the girls sometime and just get to hear what their stories are.
You're welcome. Yeah.
And, you know, as well, highlight and speak about what it is that you're doing.
Yes.
You know, we say that it might take long for us to get to the ultimate goal.
It is going to take a lot.
Must soldier on.
Yeah.
Must soldier on. So we appreciate what it is that you continue to do, and we hope that you continue to create safe spaces for the girls. Your parting shot as you speak to them.
Yeah, thank you.
What would be your parting shot?
I want to say that if we give girls an opportunity to get education, they will change the society. Right. And that is why when we get girls, even after they have gone through FGM, we'll continue taking them to school because we know they are the change makers. They will come and change the society. Okay. Yeah, slowly by slowly. So we should never give up.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I want you to look at that camera as well. Speak to the girls out there that perhaps could be wondering, where can I run to? Where do I begin? Tell them about your organization, maybe the name of your organization, and how they could reach you out in the event that they would seek to have that help.
So our organization is called Mission with a Vision. We are based in Narok, Narok town. It's not far from Narok town. It's we have a rescue center or a safe house for girls, teenage girls mainly. We don't have boys.
Okay. Wow.
So we have girls, and what we do, we rescue them. We take them through education. We make sure that they go through life and get a chance to have their own decisions. If it is getting married, they are given an opportunity to choose whoever they want to marry to. And where you will get us, most of the girls, I think 90 or 99%, they come through the children's office. So most of the time we have them being committed by the court in our place, because most of the time you cannot just wake up and they pick and go.
All right.
So we get them from the children's department.
Okay.
So that is where you can get us. Mission with a Vision. We are on Facebook, in Twitter.
Across all the social media platforms,
Mission
Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Josephine. We certainly hope that
more
girls continue to get a safe space there. But ultimately, like you say, it will take long, but we are hopeful that at some point in time, then we'll say FGM is a game of the past, early marriages are a game of the past, femicide cases are a game of the past, and all these gender concerns that we have as a country. Josephine Pasiani, asante sana, regards to Bishop, but of course continue the good work.
Thank you.
Yes, and that's the march that we had on her say. It was great having you, and as well continue, reaching out to us so that we can tell all these beautiful stories about our girls, about our mothers, our wives, our sisters. It is always a great pleasure doing that. My name is Linda Alela. I was doing this with our sign language interpreter, Rode Nyamai, and as with the rest of the team, we say asante sana as we look forward to see you again on Saturday. Do have yourself a lovely night. Bye-bye.